Hello, everyone. My name is Ceirra. I'm a BQH practitioner, divine blueprint activator, and empowerment coach.
Hey guys, I'm Carrie. I'm the Quantum Gypsy, and I'm a BQH practitioner, a student of life, a lover, a friend, a neighbor, and even foe. So here we are together today, enjoying just talking and chatting it up, looking at A Course in Miracles.
Yes, so today we're going to continue to go through the Course in Miracles. This has already been such a powerful, transformative journey for me. So I'm definitely inviting all of you to read the Course in Miracles with us and go through the book because it's already taught me so many amazing things.
Yes, it's like a living, breathing thing. You have to engage in a relationship with it. And I've noticed that I have traveled a little bit recently, and even just the 2 days that I've disconnected from it, I feel a different energy. Although I am seeing the world with a new set of perspectives, a new set of eyes that I've never felt. And it's very freeing, but it is a relationship. So it's you'll get out of it as much as you put into it, but it will give back to you what you put into it even more. So we just invite you today to join us. We're just having an authentic conversation. We're by no means gurus of the subject, but we are students of it. And we're just wanting to be students along with you.
Yes, so today we're just going to start at chapter 1. It's page 3, and we're just going to go through the miracles and talk about what is a miracle and talk about the principles of miracles.
All right. Chapter 1, the meaning of miracles, the principles of miracles. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is not harder or bigger than another. They are all the same. All expressions of love are maximal. Miracles are, as such, do not matter. The only thing that matters is their source, which is far beyond evaluation. Miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. The real miracle is the love that inspires them. In this sense, everything that comes from love is a miracle. All miracles mean life, and God is the giver of life. His voice will directly direct you very specifically, and you will be told all you need to know.
Okay, so I love how they say miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. The real miracle is the love that inspires them. And I think there comes a point where you just start creating acts of love when you start to become love. And when you start to actually live out of your heart, then miracles just happen because you are able to hold that space for people.
Yeah, and I think that there is a programming or whatever we want to call it that you feel obligated to do nice things because you're told to do nice things. And it has a very different resonance and an attachment that you have that there's gratitude returned. And I think this actually frees you up. Like if you don't feel like doing the miracle and it is not moving you, don't do it just to check the box. Do it because you're living from an authentic place. And now when I'm out and about and I see something that I just want to show love, I'll even ask God, like I'll ask, am I supposed to be the intervener here? Or is this a lesson they're supposed to be and I'm not actually supposed to? And I get the answers. And sometimes it's like, nope, just keep walking. And it's like, okay. But I think it's some people who give donation anonymously. And then also there's people that love to tell you of the good deeds they do. It's a different resonance. And I think this is what it's really bringing to is the authentic love and just doing what needs to be done because it moves you.
It does. And it's so cool when certain things start to happen in your life and then you look back and you're like, wow, I made an impact on that person, and you didn't even realize it. You were just existing, you were just holding that space of love. And so I love how it says that God will direct you, because once you open up your intuition and you start doing, there's so many times where I feel like I'm a part of somebody else's manifestation, where it's almost like they've asked the universe for something, and so I was there to deliver that to them. And then in that moment, it almost feels like I don't even know why I'm acting the way that I'm acting. I'm just doing and I'm just listening. And then afterwards, like this, I've had people be like so thankful for things that I didn't even consciously realize I was doing, and just have so much gratitude for that experience. And then afterwards, looking back on it, I'm like, was I used as a tool in that person's manifestation?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's more of just a flow thing. Your heart, it's almost like from passion to passion, right? Like you're starting to live your life in that manner of just, oh, this excites me. I'm happy about this. I love this. And not really thinking about all those stories or the consequences or the what ifs. It's just like, yep, do that, and it actually makes sense how it aligns you with such a flow state that we're always told about. But it's like, how to get there, is the hard part. But once you're there, you're like, oh, I know what this feels like now. It feels good.
Yeah, it all starts with an open heart. I truly believe that. Just finding that love within yourself is how we start to create miracles for other people. Because when you find the love within yourself and you can learn to live from your heart space, then you realize that how deeply connected we are to everyone, and you want to see the good in other people. You don't want them. It really teaches you compassion and living in your heart.
Yeah. The miracles used to seem like such a grand gesture that none of us would probably see in our lives. Like when you pray for a miracle or hope for a miracle, you think it's such a grand gesture. But when it makes it so simple, it's like I get to be a part of miracles every single day. Even on my worst day, I get to have the option to open up my heart to be a part of miracles. And what a lovely, like, exciting thing that is, that's so attainable and it's not out of our grasp.
Yeah, I've seen this on two levels lately. So I've really seen this in our clients lately, where we've had some incredible opportunities lately to be the miracle for other people, and we've seen incredible healing, especially in like our tandem and surrogate sessions recently, where I was even so surprised of the miracles that were taking place. And so I think it's really just holding the space of love so that that person can also create that miracle within themselves.
Yeah. And that actually, like, what we've seen is we are changed from even the last time we did some of those sessions and we had repeat clients that came back. We were even changed as practitioners and opened up an even that space that we were able to open up to hold was just help the client then in their transformation even more. So it was like a group combined effort. And I really do look at the Course in Miracles and just like diving into that as a lot of what's changed in me and opening up my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you want to continue?
Sure. Miracles are habits and should be involuntary. They should not be under conscious control. Consciously selected miracles can be misguided. Miracles are natural. When they do not occur, something has gone wrong. Miracles are everyone's right, but purification is necessary first. Miracles are healing because they supply a lack. They are performed by those who temporarily have more for those who temporarily have less.
Yeah, I have all of these highlighted in my book because I think that they're all so important, because especially we grow up thinking that a miracle is one specific action of Jesus turned wine and or water into wine. But I love that this course teaches you that miracles are actually done on an unconscious level, truly just from being in that place of love and holding that space. And I love how it says that it should become a habit, and it's actually a very natural thing. And before our awakening, when we're still in that programming and that conditioning, I don't even think that, I think if I had told that a miracle was a natural state of being, I don't think I even would have been able to understand it before I had my spiritual awakening, and before I did a lot of this before I did a lot of this work on myself, because there was nothing natural about the way that I was living. And I definitely wasn't living from a place of love, especially when I was in my deep addictions. I never had the space to be the miracle when I was in my addiction.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the natural state, and like our mind thinks it knows the higher perspective. And so we may be doing something, but we're intervening in somebody else's story or their life when we're not meant to. Like there's still a lesson they're working out. But when we're in a state of flow, we're actually aligned with God, who has the biggest perspective of all, who is going to naturally align us exactly where we need to be in those moments of time. So I think it's just getting out of that, why they say conscious versus, unconscious, is because when our mind's controlling it, it thinks it knows it all, but it's not giving way for the higher perspective of God. And I think that's really what pointed out to me, more or less, that like, don't go looking for it like you need to be the superhero in the story. You're still identifying so much with self in ego. Like, just go with an open heart and allow God to guide your heart.
So, what do you think it means by miracles are everyone's right, but purification is necessary first?
That was a hard one. I've thought about that. I mean, that everyone's right is like, yes, we are all meant to live the most abundant, loving life, right? But I think the purification is the purification of alignment with God, because it's the mind versus God in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think of the word atonement, and I think of you have to find your place with God first, because a miracle is almost like God working through you. And so atonement is just you're starting to realize that you're not separate from God. And I think that purification happens in that process of atonement.
Yeah, I guess that atonement is getting out of your own damn way.
Absolutely.
Like the soul wants to be the soul, but you're in the way. So get out of your way and let your soul shine.
I think that that's like what the Course in Miracles is, especially as you go through the lessons. I think that's really what it's doing. It's this idea of purification of the distortions that we're all, sometimes it feels like we're drowning in. It's getting rid of those distortions, your programming, your conditioning, so that you can find your own atonement.
A lot to think about. I'm always like, I'll do my Course in Miracles in the morning or wherever I do it during the day, and then I sit in silence for an hour. And if anyone was in the room with me, they'd just see me staring off, because I'm so like thinking about it, letting it run through my soul. And I'm just like, if anyone were to walk in, they're like, oh, she needs to go to the hospital again. She needs to get checked into the loony ward because she's just staring off. But it's such an absorption that like, there's so much there that I take the time to really just like process it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the part of actually embodying what you're reading. Like, it just takes time, and I think that's why I had this book for so long, and I couldn't open it because I wasn't even ready to. I would read a couple sentences, and it either triggered me or I just wasn't ready for it on a soul level.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we get to be partners in crime doing this. Miracles are a kind of exchange. Like all expressions of love, which are always miraculous in the true sense, the exchange reverses the physical laws. They bring more love both to the giver and the receiver. The use of miracles as spectacles to induce belief is a misunderstanding of their purpose. Prayer is the medium of miracles. It is a means of communication of the created with the creator. Through prayer, love is received, and through miracles, love is expressed. Miracles are thoughts. Thoughts can represent the lower or bodily level of experience, or the higher or spiritual level of experience. One makes the physical, and the other creates the spiritual.
It's just interesting how it says, like all expressions of love, which are always miraculous in the true sense, the exchange reverses the physical laws. And for some reason, my mind really got pulled to reversing physical laws. So in my mind, where it goes is that love really does triumph our physical reality. And it really does have domain over the physical laws of the universe.
Have you ever seen those things when they show people like maybe their first mugshot and they show them through the years their mugshots and how their physical, because they're living a life not of love, right? Whether it's drugs, just the lifestyle they're living, whatever. And you see just a transformation and aging, but then you see someone who's been a part of that life and then they have like a rebirth or recoming back to self and self-love, and how people go, wow, you look so much younger. Like, what's your trick? And it's like love.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, that is the best example.
lack of love and love. It's like, but we're all looking for it in a bottle. We're all looking for it in a surgeon. We're all looking for it externally. We're all looking for how do you the fountain of youth and how to reverse. And it's like, just live a life of love and your spirit will always shine through.
Yeah, that's the perfect example. I love that so much.
Thanks.
I like this idea of prayer, that prayer is the medium for miracles. I've been praying a lot lately, and before my spiritual, or I would say before the most recent awakening that I had, I saw prayer almost as like giving my power away. Like I would send people love, right? Like, absolutely. But I was just sending them love. I saw this idea of prayer of like, um, almost like I had to ask God to protect my family because I couldn't protect them myself. Like that felt like I was asking like something outside of myself to protect them. I don't know. Somehow New Age spirituality made me believe that prayer was a bad thing. And maybe I haven't realized yet. Like, I don't know if it was like my judgment against Christianity, or I was told that when you pray, you were casting spells on people. But it was triggering something inside of me. And I don't think I even like fully understand still what was being triggered. But I have been practicing prayer more lately, and I can feel it. It's like I can feel the love that is actually being sent. And it does. It makes me feel like my family's more protected, like I'm more protected. And even my boyfriend's dad is one of the most Christian people I've ever met. And sometimes I actually wonder if just the way that he prayed for us is the reason why me and my boyfriend are still here, still together, and why we had so much protection around us through our addiction.
Oh my gosh, that makes me want to cry, because if I imagine how many people prayed for me when I wasn't able to ask for those things for myself, I just want to send them all so much love right now, because it is very powerful and it is such a loving thing that they do. But um I did see an interview with someone who was a head person of the Satanic Church and who's no longer with it, but was like well known, and said there was ways they were able to access like children and to gain their cloak or whatever they were sending out, their energetic thing over these children. But they said there were always these children that they couldn't access. And what they found out was the children that their parents were praying for them. And they just had this like white encapsulation around them that just nothing they could do could energetically attach to them. And I thought, wow, if that didn't change me. And I started praying after I saw the interview, for myself, for my children, for anyone that I possibly could add to the list, right? Just of that I could recall in my memory. And just, but that for me was the changing thing, when he was like, yeah, we could totally manipulate your kids, but there were some, nope, we had no access to. And I'm like, I'll be damned if I'm going to be a player and not just protecting my children in that way.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. We'll
Yeah.
have I'm going to ask more about prayer, more about the power of prayer, why it's so protective. We should do a channeling on that. That would be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that like miracles are thoughts, and one's of the bodily level and one's of the spiritual level. And I think when we see a lot of what we've seen in our PQH sessions, just in me, when I'm 20 years working in the emergency room, I always saw it always stemmed from energy and not from the body, their illnesses. And if we can heal the soul, how the body will follow.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. Especially doing the kind of healing especially doing a lot of Joe Dispenza's work. Like, he has people standing up out of wheelchairs just by going within themselves and releasing those traumas, those emotions, really clearing up your energy, clearing up some of those thoughts that are no longer serving you. There are truly miracles happening every single day at his events, and I think that's, like, why I love him so much, is because Joe Dispenza is the miracle, and he is helping everybody find the miracle within himself, and his events have just become this giant place for these miracles to happen, just holding the space for people to find the miracle within themselves. And it also creates the space for people to want to be a miracle for other people. And so it's just become something so beautiful. And then it just gives me so much hope to see that there's this many people in the world that want to live from love, that are ready to start living from their heart. Because I think we get very wrapped up in like everything that's happening in the world, or like the awakening's not going fast enough. And to actually see just how many people are willing to pray for somebody else that they don't even know. How many people are willing to be a part of a healing event for people that they've never met, or to help this child with autism. That is so beautiful to me, and that's what we need to be focusing on.
Yeah. I mean, it is gorgeous and beautiful and wonderful. And I think, like I said, heal the soul. And I think for me, I don't think the soul needs healing. I think it needs to be a reconnection. And in talking about living from the heart, it's like, no, we live from the soul. Like, it's encompassing everything, right? Like, maybe that's where it's directed the most, or where like Care Bear stare, it all comes out from the heart. I don't know. But like, I started living from the soul, because that is the most authentic, whole, beautiful version, encompassing every chakra, everything that, every connection with the all. Like let's start living from the soul.
Oh my gosh, the older I get, the more I love the idea of Care Bears. Because they're actually, if you think about it, like, they have these different abilities to, like, send love to people from within themselves.
Mhm.
And so I think that that's a beautiful idea for children to watch.
Well, I know we only touched on 12. We're on page 3. We will get there. Luckily, we're in this for the long haul. So 2 years later, it's like a soap opera when they're still talking. You can miss it for 6 months and they're still in the same scene. But we're going to get through this together. And it's just so important to get the foundation of it. And I think that's where we're going through it like this. So we hope you guys all enjoyed this, and we enjoyed sharing, the space with you guys.
Yeah, so if you guys want to read A Course in Miracles with us, the affiliate link is in the description below. And then we also invite you to our Patreon. So it's a beautiful community of light workers where we all just want to heal and really see the best in each other. It's a beautiful, safe space where we do group hypnosis, live channelings. We have a lot of BQH sessions on there. So we invite you to our community.